Every empire has a beginning. Welcome to the International Billionaire Stories, where we uncover the remarkable journeys.
Every day, millions of people receive packages from Amazon, but very few know the extraordinary story of how one simple idea. This is not just the story of a company. It is the story of persistence, risk, innovation, and thousands of small decisions that slowly built one of the world's most valuable businesses. To understand Amazon's success, we have to go back long before the first website, before the first customer, and before anyone believed online shopping could become the future. Our journey begins in the 1960s, when a curious young boy developed an unusual interest in science, technology, and solving problems. Curiosity became his greatest strength. While other children played, he spent countless hours learning how things worked and imagining how they could work even better. Those small habits did not look extraordinary at the time, but they quietly prepared him for challenges that would come many years later. As technology rapidly evolved during the following decades, a completely new opportunity slowly began to appear, an opportunity that most businesses failed to notice. The internet was growing at an unbelievable speed, yet very few people understood what it could become. For many, it was simply another experiment. One businessman looked beyond the present and saw something completely different. He believed the internet would transform the way people bought almost everything. That single belief would soon lead to one of the boldest business decisions in modern history, and it all began with leaving behind a comfortable career to chase an uncertain dream. At the time, he already had a successful career, a respected position, and a secure future. Most people would have stayed exactly where they were. Instead, he made a decision that surprised almost everyone around him. He chose uncertainty over comfort because he believed the internet represented the future. Walking away from security is never easy, but every extraordinary journey begins with one difficult decision. With a clear vision but no guarantee of success, he began searching for the perfect business idea that could exist entirely on the internet. After studying dozens of products, one category stood above the rest. Books were available in enormous numbers, easy to catalog, and perfect for selling online. The idea sounded simple, but building an online bookstore in the early days of the internet was anything but simple. There were no proven roadmaps, no successful examples to copy, and very few people believed customers would ever trust buying products online. Rather than waiting for perfect conditions, the work began immediately with whatever resources were available. Every shelf, every cable, every notebook inside that small garage represented another step toward turning an ambitious vision into reality. Without realizing it, that ordinary garage was about to become the birthplace of one of the greatest business success stories in modern history. Work inside the garage followed a simple routine. Every day was filled with planning, testing, solving problems, and improving the website one small step at a time. There was no luxury office or large team. Progress depended on patience, creativity, and countless hours of focused work. Every improvement made the website a little better, even though almost nobody outside the garage knew it existed. The biggest challenge was not building the website. It was convincing people to trust something they had never done before, buying a product over the internet. At that time, many people worried about online payments, delivery, and whether their orders would ever arrive. Building trust became just as important as selling books. Every satisfied customer could bring another. Instead of focusing only on profits, the team focused on creating an experience people would want to return to again and again.
Every order was carefully prepared because each customer represented another opportunity to prove that online shopping could actually work.
Slowly, those first customers began sharing their positive experiences with friends and family.
What started as a handful of daily orders was about to grow into something far bigger than anyone inside that small garage could have imagined. As more customers discovered the website, the number of daily orders slowly began to increase. Every new order brought both excitement and even greater responsibility. The small team quickly realized that success created a new challenge. More customers meant more books to organize, more packages to prepare. Rather than slowing down, the team worked even harder, often spending long days and late nights improving every part of the business. Every customer email, every delivery, and every piece of feedback became an opportunity to make the service better. Instead of seeing problems as obstacles, they treated them as lessons that helped shape the future of the company. That mindset slowly created something more valuable than fast profits. It created customer trust. Satisfied customers returned to buy again, and many recommended the website to others. Word of mouth became one of the company's strongest advantages. The growing demand made one thing clear. The garage that had once felt large enough was no longer able to support the expanding business. The dream had outgrown its first home, and the next chapter would require bigger spaces, bigger systems, and even bigger ambitions. What began as a simple online bookstore was preparing to take its first major step toward becoming a global business. As the business expanded beyond its small garage, one important question emerged. Should the company remain an online bookstore, or should it become something much bigger? The answer would shape the future of the company for decades to come. The vision was no longer limited to books. The goal was to build a place where customers could eventually find almost anything they needed. It was an ambitious idea, and many people believed it was simply too large to succeed. Expanding into new product categories meant building stronger systems, improving logistics, and earning even greater customer trust. Instead of growing too quickly, every expansion was carefully planned to make sure customers continued receiving the same reliable experience. The company's philosophy remained simple. Focus on the customer first, and long-term success will follow. While many businesses focused on short-term profits, this company focused on improving the customer experience year after year. That commitment created something competitors found difficult to copy. It created loyalty. With every passing year, more customers trusted the platform, more products were added, and the company moved one step closer to becoming the world's largest online marketplace. Rapid growth brought exciting opportunities, but it also created enormous pressure. Every new customer expected faster delivery, better service, and a wider selection of products. Continuing seamlessly, the documentator says, meeting those expectations required an entirely new way of thinking about storage, shipping, and logistics. Instead of waiting for problems to appear, the company invested heavily in systems designed to solve tomorrow's challenges before they arrived. Warehouses became larger, technology became smarter, and every process was carefully refined to save valuable time. Every second saved inside a warehouse could eventually mean a happier customer waiting at home. This relentless focus on efficiency gradually became one of the company's greatest competitive advantages. As technology improved, customers began receiving their orders faster than ever before, strengthening their confidence in online shopping. The company was no longer simply selling products. It was changing people's expectations of convenience itself. Millions of people quietly changed their daily shopping habits, often without realizing they were witnessing the beginning of a completely new era. What started as an online bookstore had now become one of the most influential forces in modern retail, and its biggest transformation was still ahead. As the company continued expanding across the world, one idea remained at the center of every major decision: never stop improving the customer experience. Rather than becoming comfortable with success, the company continued experimenting with new services, new technology, and faster ways to serve millions of customers. Innovation was no longer an occasional project. It became part of the company's everyday culture. Every improvement, no matter how small, was designed to make shopping simpler, faster, and more reliable. Continuing naturally, the documentator says, the company also expanded beyond online shopping, investing in technology that would influence businesses around the world. These investments created entirely new opportunities and opened doors that reached far beyond retail. At the same time, competition became stronger than ever. New companies entered the market, determined to challenge the industry's fastest-growing business. Instead of slowing down, the company responded by continuing to improve, adapt, and think years ahead of its competitors.
Growth on this scale was never the result of one brilliant moment. It was built through thousands of consistent improvements made over many years. The garage where the journey began now felt incredibly small compared to the global network that had grown from that original vision. As Amazon expanded across continents, its influence reached millions of homes, businesses, and communities. What had once been a startup was now becoming part of everyday life.
Behind every successful delivery stood an enormous network, working together with remarkable precision.
Customers often saw only the package arriving at their door, but they rarely saw the thousands of steps required to make that delivery possible. Every order passed through warehouses, transportation networks, technology systems, and dedicated teams working around the clock.
This enormous operation demonstrated an important lesson.
The company's greatest strength was no longer simply its website. It was the system that connected people, technology, and logistics into one seamless experience.
Even as the business reached extraordinary heights, the mindset that started inside the garage continued to influence every new decision. The willingness to experiment, improve, and think long-term remained stronger than the desire for quick success. That long-term thinking helped transform a simple online bookstore into one of the world's most recognized technology companies. But perhaps the most valuable part of this story is not the size of the company. It is the mindset that made such growth possible.
When people look at Amazon today, they often see only the success. They rarely see the years of uncertainty, sacrifice, and persistence that came before it. Every great achievement has an invisible chapter, filled with challenges that almost nobody remembers.
Those quiet moments of determination often become the foundation of extraordinary success.
History reminds us that many world-changing companies started with limited resources but unlimited commitment. The difference was never the size of the building, it was the size of the vision. Amazon's journey teaches us that long-term thinking often produces results that short-term thinking can never achieve. Innovation is not always about inventing something completely new. Sometimes it is about improving familiar ideas until they become extraordinary. That philosophy helped reshape global retail, logistics, cloud computing, and the expectations of millions of customers. The story that began with books eventually expanded into technology, entertainment, artificial intelligence, and countless other industries. Yet despite everything that changed, the original lesson remained surprisingly simple. Think long-term, keep improving, and never stop learning. Every successful company leaves behind more than products and profits. It leaves behind lessons that future entrepreneurs can learn from.
Amazon's journey reminds us that patience often creates opportunities that impatience never gets the chance to see.
The company did not become a global leader overnight. It earned that position through thousands of careful improvements made over many years. Every challenge became another opportunity to improve systems, strengthen customer trust, and prepare for the future.
This approach created a business that continued evolving while many competitors struggled to adapt.
The greatest achievement was not building a successful company. It was building a culture that never stopped improving.
That culture encouraged experimentation, accepted failure as part of learning, and rewarded long-term thinking over short-term results. Continuing naturally, the documentator says, these principles continue to influence businesses around the world, proving that strong ideas can inspire far beyond the company that created them.
Every entrepreneur begins somewhere. What matters most is not where the journey starts, but the willingness to continue when the road becomes difficult.
And that may be the most powerful lesson hidden inside the story of Amazon's remarkable rise from a small garage to a global empire.
Before we finish, let's step back and look at the journey as a whole. Every major milestone was built on a much smaller decision that came before it. A curious child became a lifelong learner. A secure career was exchanged for an uncertain dream. A small garage became the birthplace of a global company.
Every chapter connected naturally to the next, proving that extraordinary success is usually the result of consistent progress rather than one dramatic moment. Many people search for shortcuts, but history repeatedly shows that lasting success is built through discipline, patience, and continuous improvement. Amazon's story is not simply about selling products. It is about recognizing change before everyone else and having the courage to act on that belief.
The internet changed the world, but vision, persistence, and execution transformed that opportunity into reality.
The greatest businesses rarely succeed because they avoid challenges. They succeed because they continue moving forward despite them. Every obstacle along the journey became another lesson, and every lesson made the company stronger than before.
That mindset remains one of the most valuable lessons any entrepreneur, student, or business leader can apply today.
Sometimes the biggest transformation begins with a single decision that seems small at the time, but changes everything that follows.
If there is one lesson this journey teaches us, it is that success is never an accident. It is the result of thousands of small decisions made consistently over many years.
Every innovation, every improvement, and every challenge became another building block in the company's remarkable journey. The garage may have disappeared from daily operations, but the mindset that was born inside it continued shaping every future decision. That is why this story continues to inspire entrepreneurs, innovators, and dreamers across the world. No matter where you begin, your starting point does not define your future. Your persistence does.
Every great achievement once existed only as an idea inside someone's imagination. The difference between an idea and a legacy is the willingness to take action, learn from failure, and continue moving forward.
History remembers the companies that kept improving while others stopped trying.
Perhaps the next world-changing idea is being developed somewhere ordinary today, just as this one once was. And that is why the story of Amazon is ultimately not just about one company. It is about what becomes possible when vision, patience, and consistent effort come together. As we reach the end of this journey, one question remains. What can each of us learn from one of the greatest business stories ever told?
The answer is surprisingly simple. Stay curious, think long-term, and never stop improving.
Every successful entrepreneur started without knowing exactly how the journey would end. They simply committed to taking the next step. The future belongs to those who continue learning, while others become comfortable with what they already know.
The world will continue changing, technology will continue evolving, and new opportunities will always appear for those prepared to recognize them.
The next generation of innovators will not simply inherit the future, they will build it. Whether your dream is to build a business, create new technology, or simply improve your own life, the same principles still apply.
Success grows through consistency, discipline, patience, and the courage to continue when progress feels slow.
That may be the greatest lesson hidden inside this remarkable story.
A small beginning should never discourage a great vision, because history repeatedly proves that extraordinary achievements often begin in ordinary places.
If this story changed the way you think about success, then its purpose has already been fulfilled.
The journey from a small garage to a global company reminds us that every great achievement begins with a single decision to start. Many people wait for the perfect moment, but history is usually written by those who begin before everything feels ready.
Progress rarely happens in one giant leap. It happens through countless small improvements repeated over time. That philosophy transformed one simple online bookstore into a company that changed the way the world shops. Whether you dream of building a company, creating something meaningful, or simply improving yourself, remember that every lasting success begins with action. Keep learning, keep improving, and never underestimate the power of consistent effort. The world's greatest success stories are not finished yet. The next one could be starting somewhere today.
Perhaps the next chapter of innovation is already being written by someone who simply refuses to give up.
And just like every remarkable journey before it, the first step will always be the most important one. Before we say goodbye, let's remember the 7 ideas that shaped this extraordinary journey from a small garage to one of the world's most influential companies.
The first lesson is to stay curious. Great opportunities are often discovered by people who never stop asking questions.
The second lesson is to think long-term. Real success is measured in years of steady progress, not days of quick results.
The third lesson is to focus on the customer. Businesses grow stronger when they solve real problems for real people.
The fourth lesson is to welcome change instead of fearing it. The fifth lesson is to keep improving, even when things are already working well. The sixth lesson is to treat setbacks as opportunities to learn, because every challenge carries a valuable lesson. And finally, the seventh lesson is to begin before you feel completely ready.
Those 7 principles reach far beyond one company. They can guide anyone determined to build something meaningful.
And perhaps that is the greatest legacy of this remarkable story. Not just the company that was built, but the mindset that made it possible. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the most remarkable business stories in modern history.
If this documentary gave you a new perspective, then we've achieved exactly what we set out to do.
Every week, we explore the real stories behind the world's biggest companies, groundbreaking innovations, and the people whose ideas changed history. Our goal is simple: to turn complex business journeys into inspiring stories that anyone can understand and enjoy.
If you enjoy documentaries built on real history, powerful storytelling, and cinematic visuals, make sure you're here for the next episode.
In our next documentary, we'll uncover another incredible story that transformed an entire industry and changed the future forever. Until then, remember that every extraordinary achievement begins with one ordinary decision to start.
No matter where you are today, your next decision could become the first chapter of an incredible journey.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next documentary. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and never stop believing that small beginnings can create extraordinary futures. Before you leave, take one final look at how far this journey has come, from one ordinary garage to a company that reshaped global commerce.
Every chapter of this story reminds us that greatness is built one decision at a time, one improvement at a time, and one customer at a time.
The story of Amazon is no longer just business history. It has become part of the story of how technology transformed everyday life. Its journey proves that bold ideas, when combined with discipline and persistence, can influence generations.
Perhaps years from now, another entrepreneur will inspire the world in exactly the same way.
Every legendary company once faced uncertainty, limited resources, and countless reasons to give up. What separated the winners was not luck,
but the determination to keep moving forward when success was still invisible.
History will always remember the companies that dared to imagine a different future and had the courage to build it.
Thank you for spending your time with us. I hope this story inspires you to think bigger, dream further, and take your own first step. This was the remarkable story of Amazon. Until our next documentary, stay curious, stay determined, and remember, every great journey begins with a single step.
Thank you for watching the International Billionaire Stories. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe for more inspiring stories.